Procrastination. It's a thing we all suffer from time to time as artists, or just as human beings in general. But when the time we have to dedicate to our creative endeavours is often all too short, procrastination is the last thing we want to rear its ugly head. When I was working on my last Skillshare class, I noticed that as soon as I start working on a new course, I very quickly start to feel stressed and overwhelmed. This leads to feelings of dread, which in turn leads to procrastination. But it's not because I'm working more hours or doing a different type of work. I work exactly the same hours each day, regardless of what I'm focusing on. And it's the same basic filming and video editing that I do for my YouTube videos, which is one of my favourite things to do. I really like editing videos and I find it really satisfying. So why the overwhelm? I decided to really dig down and work out what it is specifically about making courses or long form content like this that makes me feel overwhelmed and overworked. I realised that part of the thing I love about making videos for YouTube and Instagram is that mostly I can get the whole thing done and dusted in one day, even if I've batch filmed a whole bunch of videos and then edit them separately one per day. I realised that I get a big feeling of satisfaction, read dopamine hit, by completing that video, uploading it, scheduling it and knowing that it is done. This reward or dopamine hit, however your brain is wired, dopamine affects how your brain decides whether a goal is worth the effort. I'm a big believer in to-do lists, even if they're just mental ones, and I love finishing things. I've come to realise that it gives me a big mental boost when I finish something and I can see it done and uploaded and in its place. It's a thing I've known for a super long time, like my very first job was working as a supermarket cashier, and I always felt frustrated because there was nothing to show for it at the end of the shift. There was no pile of completed work or a ticked off to-do list. It was just an ongoing thing that was never finished, and that just isn't something that satisfies me. So, once I dug down and realised what specifically was making me feel overwhelmed about creating longer form content like a Skillshare class or a longer YouTube video series, and then what I found rewarding about making shorter video content or other projects, I was able to incorporate those aspects into the big projects too. So instead of thinking in terms of, I have this whole 3-hour course to work on with 1 million tasks and it's not going to be finished for weeks, I break it down into, well, I need to cut together the rough footage of this video today and I need to record the voiceover for this video tomorrow. Don't get me wrong, it still feels overwhelming and I find myself wanting to go and complete another quick, easy to do task instead. But by knowing what my single next step is, it means it's now actually possible for me to get started on it. I don't so much literally need to check it off the list, like I don't mind if I don't write it down and physically tick it off. But if that's you, then absolutely use that to your advantage, even writing down tasks that you've already done just so that you can tick them off. But I do need to see some kind of ta-da reward at the end of the day. So for me, that can be as simple as changing the label on one of my video sequences from red to orange because it's moved from one production stage to another, and that little act is the reward and the tiny little thing that I need to feel and see to feel like I've accomplished something and not feel like I have a whole big messy unfinished task hanging over me. So my takeaway and little nugget for you from this is when you're feeling overwhelmed or overworked or dreading a specific task, especially when it's seemingly similar to something else you do which you love, compare the two tasks. What's the actual difference here? Drill down into what it is that's making the other job feel satisfying for you. Then try and incorporate some of that magic into the job which you find less satisfying. Examples of this could be you're not looking forward to working on a spoonflower design challenge because you're not really digging the limited colour palette. It uses darker earthy colours whereas you're all about the rainbow hues. Well, design the pattern in the rainbow colours and then recolour it for the challenge afterwards. Or if you dread deciding what to post on Instagram or writing the captions for it, but for some reason you are absolutely brilliant at taking photos or screenshots of what you've been working on today and sending it to your mum, your partner, your best friend, proudly showing it off and waxing lyrical about it to them, well, capture that energy and write your social media captions like that. Imagine you're writing it as a text to your best friend. If working on an entire pattern collection overwhelms you to the point where you can't get started, just focus on one pattern at a time. I have one last real-world example for you. This video originally started out life as a little pep talk essay in my monthly newsletter. I'm not really a big fan of sitting down and typing a whole blog post or email like this from scratch. I don't like blank canvases, blank pages, or sitting at my desk for any longer than I have to. All week I'd been thinking, I need to sit down and write that newsletter, and I just hadn't felt like sitting down and writing a newsletter, so I put it off until the last minute, as per usual. The entire essay was written while I was out soaking up some winter sunshine whilst walking my dog. My best thoughts often come to me while I'm out and walking, so I often dictate video scripts or blog posts this way. So I grab my phone, open up the Notes app, turn on the little microphone button and just speak random, not particularly coherent thoughts into it. It transcribes them for me and then I can edit it into a proper thing when I get home. I find that a whole lot easier and more rewarding than just typing from scratch. I really hope these little tips help you to reframe whatever you're feeling overwhelmed by and putting off, and help you beat the procrastination. As always, if you have any tips, then share them in the comments. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you next time.